B me 50F in the endless sprawl outside Baltimore VIP of brand strategy work at an old money publishing company that still thinks paperbacks are sacred. Spent my 20s and 30s clawing for a seat in rooms full of men who called me kiddo. Learned early, the only scoreboard that matters is brain power and job titles, married to Greg. 53M, Greg's a CPA, quiet, soft-spoken, allergic to conflict. Like it's pollen, the supportive husband I used to brag about wanting, which mostly means he folds towels and never argues with me. I run the house, I run the money, I run the social calendar. Honestly, I run Greg too. We have one kid. Ethan had him when I was 31. Right after my first real promotion that made people stop calling me assistant. The second the test showed 2 lines, my brain went into project manager mode. This wasn't just a baby. This was a build. I was going to raise the antidote to toxic masculinity. No toy guns, no violent video games, no boys will be boys. Wrestling on the carpet. His nursery looked like an upscale dentist office. Neutral colors, wooden blocks, little puzzles. Board books about feelings and empathy. I wanted a scholar, an artist, a diplomat, somebody who'd sit in a corner office and make decisions that shaped the world. I didn't want him with calluses, I wanted him with a portfolio. Fast forward to, when he's actually a kid, reality hits my plan, like a truck Ethan's 8, I buy him a chemistry set and a cheap beginner, violin pictures in my head, of him in some after-school program. Little genius in the making, he ignores both, like they're radioactive. Instead, he's obsessed with the vacuum cleaner, not vacuuming, taking it apart like it's a living creature. He needs to understand. Come home one Tuesday, open the front door, step into the living room, and my $750 Miele is in 100 pieces on the rug. Screws everywhere, plastic casing split open, motor sitting there like an exposed organ. I feel my blood pressure spike so hard, I taste metal. Ethan, what the hell is this? Mom? It was making a weird squeal. Kids covered in dust bunnies and greasy fingerprints holding a screwdriver, like he just pulled it from a stone, bright eyes excited like he found buried treasure. I fixed it. I don't hear fixed. I see chaos. I see property damage. I see my kid rolling in filth instead of reading. I see a boy choosing dirt over literature. I lose it. Lecture mode, engaged, stand there for a solid hour, talking about respect and responsibility. We pay people to fix things. Ethan, we don't do it ourselves. You're wasting your potential. Your value isn't in your hands. Your value is in your head. Greg wanders in, halfway through. Does that gentle little throat clear? He does when he wants peace. Honey, he actually put it back together. It turns on. It kinda runs smoother now. I turn my eyes on Greg, the kind of look that makes ice cubes nervous. It's not about the vacuum, Greg. It's about the mindset. I don't want him thinking manual work is who he is. Greg immediately retreats back to his laptop, like a turtle into a shell. Ethan quietly gathers pieces, shuffles off to his room. I take the screwdriver, throw it into the junk drawer, and shove a little child lock on it, like it's a weapon. Middle school comes, and the gap between my blueprint and my actual son gets wider. Ethan turns into this physical kid, big shoulders, early hands that look heavy. Even when he's holding a pencil. Legs always bouncing? School is torture for him. He's smart, tests great in math and physics. But the busy work, the worksheets, the write 3 paragraphs about how this poem makes you feel, stuff, he refuses. I'm always getting calls, always getting emails, always sitting in some beige office with a principal who smiles too much, defending him while also wanting to scream. Then the car ride home, me gripping the steering wheel. Why do you have a C in English? You speak just fine at home. He stares out the window like he's watching a different life. It was an essay about feelings, Mom. It's dumb, I snap back instantly. Feelings are not dumb. Emotional labor is going to be the currency of the future. He just rolls his eyes, puts his headphones on the universal teenage stop talking button. Then he starts hanging out with a crowd. I hate not criminals, not drug kids, worse than that. Shop kids, boys who wear Dickies jackets like it's formal wear and talk about engines with this weird reverence. I can smell them before I see them. Stale dip, old cigarettes, motor oil. They stomp into my foyer and somehow leave mud. Even when it hasn't rained, they look like a step backwards. I ban them from the house, flat out. Tell Ethan he can meet them anywhere else. Then I give him my favorite speech. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do you want to be a mechanic? Or do you want to be an executive? He looks me dead in the face. Expression totally blank. Mechanics fix the executive's car, Mom. If they don't fix it, the executive doesn't get to work. Don't get cute with me. I hit him with the next line, like I'm closing a deal. Executives can buy a new car. Mechanics can't buy a new back when they're 40 and broken. I thought I was teaching him ambition. What I was really teaching him was resentment. High school hits. Junior year turns our house into a pressure cooker. I hire a private college counselor, expensive. Polished woman named Cheryl, who smells like expensive lotion. Cheryl spreads binders and spreadsheets across my dining table like she's planning a military campaign. We map out his trajectory, small liberal arts schools in the Northeast, places with ivy on the walls, and tuition that makes you swallow hard, sociology, political science, environmental law, programs that mold future thought leaders. Ethan sits through these meetings like he's being held hostage, staring out the window at the parking lot, like the asphalt is more interesting than his future Cheryl does. Her warm, professional smile. Ethan, what are your passions? He shrugs. I like seeing how stuff is built. Like, what holds it up? Load paths, strength. I cut in immediately. He means architecture. He's always liked design. Ethan goes silent. Doesn't argue, doesn't correct me, just sits there and lets me steer his words like I'm driving a car. Cheryl nods, like this is perfect. Architecture is wonderful. Long path. Lots of theory. Very prestigious. Ethan lets out this quiet sigh like air leaving a tire. Then summer comes, and he gets a job without telling me. I find out the hard way he walks in the door at 6 p.m. Sunburned neck shirt, stuck to him with sweat, carrying a hard hat. Like it's a trophy, boots coated in sawdust. Smells like lumber and hot asphalt. Where have you been? He says it like it's no big deal. Working local general contractor, hauling lumber cleaning job, cites basically being a human mule. I actually feel lightheaded. You are quitting that job immediately. He looks right at me. First time in his life, he doesn't bend no. One word, flat final. It lands in my chest like a punch. Why? Because I like it. I like being outside. I like being tired at the end of the day. And the money's real. I scoff. It's minimum wage. That's not real money, Ethan. He shakes his head. It's $20 an hour to start, Mom. And I'm learning how to frame a wall. I turn to Greg, like he's the emergency brake. Back me up here. Greg looks at Ethan, then looks at me, and I can see the exact moment he chooses peace over me. It's good exercise, Claire. Keeps him busy. Keeps him out of trouble. I feel betrayed from every angle, like my own house is siding against me. I spend the whole summer simmering every day he comes home sweaty and filthy. I make a little performance of grabbing the air freshener spray. It like I'm disinfecting a crime scene. Smile tight. Say nothing and let the message hang in the air, thicker than the scent cloud. You smell like sweat and bargain bin plywood. Go shower before you touch literally anything. I say it like I'm doing him a favor. I treat his work clothes like they're contaminated, grab them with 2 fingers, bag them up, run them alone on hot extra detergent. Like I'm laundering a biohazard. I want the grime to embarrass him. Want him to feel how far beneath this is. Want him to wake up one morning and realize he's slumming it. He never fights me on it, just nods. Showers, eats like a starving animal, passes out hard by 9:30, and the worst part? He looks happier than I've ever seen him, like something inside him finally clicked into place, and it makes me irrationally angry. Senior year rolls around, application deadlines creeping up. I'm basically living inside the college portal, tabs, open everywhere, spreadsheets, checklists, deadlines, color-coded. If I'm being honest, I filled out most of the stuff for him. He'd do the bare minimum. I'd clean it up. One night, he comes into the kitchen. I'm on my second glass of Cabernet, laptop open, hovering over the submit buttons like I'm defusing a bomb. He drops a brochure onto the island, thick paper, cheap glossy finish. Big photo of a guy in safety. Glasses smiling too hard, reads Piedmont Technical College. I do this ugly little laugh, sharp almost a bark. Is this supposed to be funny? He doesn't blink. They've got a 2-year track. HVAC, industrial electrical, plumbing certifications. They place you straight into a paid apprenticeship. I can be clearing 100 grand in like 4 years, and I won't have any debt. The words hit me like he just told me he joined a cult. I shove the brochure off the counter like it's a roach. I don't want to touch it. Flutters down and lands face up on the tile. Ethan, look at me. Look at this house. Look at the life you grew up with. Do you think we got here by unclogging toilets? He exhales through his nose, annoyed. It's not just toilets, Mom. It's infrastructure. It matters. People need it. My hand slams the granite so hard my ring bites my skin. It is service work. It is for people who didn't have your opportunities. People would kill for your access, for your safety net, and you want to throw it away to be a grunt. He stiffens. I'm not a grunt. It's skilled work. It takes brains. I snap back immediately. It is filthy work. It destroys your body. By 50 you'll be half deaf, hunched over, and surrounded by morons who think books are propaganda. Is that what you want? He goes, quiet face turning red, jaw working like he's chewing on glass. Then he says it low and ugly. I'd rather be around them than people who smile at you and knife you the second you turn around. That one lands right in the soft spot. I stand up so fast my chair scrapes. Fine, here's the deal. I'm your mother. I control the money. If you go to that tech school, you pay for it yourself. You live somewhere else. I am not funding mediocrity. He stares at me like he can't believe I said it. Mediocrity? Yes. Taking a brain like yours and spending it on manual labor is mediocrity. It's a sin against your potential. Greg is at the sink, rinsing a plate that's already clean, doing his usual ghost routine, pretending he's not part of the room. Ethan looks over at him. Dad. Greg pauses, mid-scrub. Looks at Ethan, then looks at me. Sees my face, sees the fire, and immediately folds. Listen to your mother. She understands the corporate world better than I do. Get the degree, you can mess with tools later. Ethan's face just collapses, like a tent pole snapping total defeat. He bends down, picks the brochure up off the floor, walks to the trash, drops it in, doesn't slam anything, doesn't yell, just says, flat fine, I'll go to state. I feel this rush of relief, this disgusting little victory, high, like I saved him from himself. Pour another glass, raise it to no one, to his future. Don't even register, that he doesn't say, good night, freshman year. Starts Chesapeake State University Business Administration major because that's practical. I set him up like a catalog photo. Best dorm. I can swing new MacBook Air, fresh wardrobe, meal plan, upgraded text him every day. How are classes? Are you joining any clubs? Don't forget networking. Have you looked at fraternities? His replies shrink down to nothing. Fine, okay, busy, like I'm annoying customer service first semester grades, drop 2.0, GPA barely hanging on. I drive up there like I'm going to fix it with my presence, take him to lunch, off campus. Some overpriced sandwich place full of students pretending they're adults. He looks washed out, pale, soft around the edges, eyes dead, like someone took his batteries out. Ethan, you have to try. This is the foundation of your life. He doesn't even argue, just says it straight. I hate it, Mom. I hate sitting in these lecture halls listening to people who've never run anything talk about business. It's all theory. I give him my practice line. Theory is how you understand the world. You do the grunt stuff now, so you can get the corner office later. He gives me the smallest, bitter laugh. I'd rather do actual grunt work. Stop it. We're past that. I leave, believing I crack through to him. Spring semester turns into silence. I call no answer. I email nothing. I check his bank account. I still had access because I'm me and I don't like surprises. I'm scrolling through transactions and my brain hits a wall. Charges at O'Reilly, auto parts Lowe's, a local lumber yard, random hardware store. I'm staring at the screen like it's in another language. Why is he buying lumber when he lives in a dorm? May shows up finals week. I get an envelope from the university official, letterhead, that paper that always feels like bad news. Academic probation, and right behind it, withdrawal notice. I reread it 3 times before it clicks. He withdrew. Months ago, didn't tell us, just disappeared from college and kept cashing our money like nothing happened. I scream so loud, our dog bolts under the couch, call his phone, straight to voicemail. Again and again, Greg comes home from work, sees me holding the letter like it's a death certificate. He quit. He quit. He threw it all away. Front door opens. Ethan walks in like it's any normal day duffel bag, over one shoulder, toolbox in his hand. He looks different, not better, just sharper, tired eyes. But there's something solid there, like he actually belongs in his own skin. He says it before I can explode. "I'm done, Mom. Don't yell. I'm just done." I unload anyway. Call him ungrateful, spoiled. Tell him how much money we burned. He doesn't flinch. "I'll pay you back. Every cent," I laugh. Cruel. "With what? Your plumber money?" He nods once. "Yeah." I point toward the hallway like I'm evicting a stranger. "Not under this roof. I told you the rules." Truth is, I was bluffing. I wanted him to panic, to beg to realize he needed me. He doesn't blink, just goes calm. "Okay. Figured you'd say that." He turns to leave. I throw the last hook I have. "If you walk out that door, you're on your own. No insurance, no phone plan, no car payment, help, nothing." He nods like he already packed that decision months ago. "I know. The car's in your name anyway. Keys are on the table." He sets the fob down, soft click, then walks out. Greg instinctively steps after him, dad reflex. I grab Greg's arm hard. No. Let him go. He needs to learn. He'll be back in a few weeks when he realizes pride doesn't taste like dinner. We stand at the window and watch Ethan walks down the driveway. No hesitation, gets into a beat-up, rusted pickup, idling at the curb. Someone else is behind the wheel. They pull away. He never turns his head, doesn't look back once. That was 4 years ago. And then came the silence. Year one, I keep waiting for the call. It never comes. I start stalking his socials like a lunatic. His Facebook disappears. Instagram flips to private. Greg tries calling. Ethan changed his number. Like we're debt collectors. When friends ask, I smile and lie. Tell them he's traveling, finding himself. Say he's somewhere in Europe, like it's a charming gap. Year's story instead of what it really is. My own kid cutting us off like dead weight. Sounds classy when I tell people he's traveling. Always pick some place that sounds expensive without actually meaning anything. Yeah, he's doing a whole Europe thing. Finding himself. People light up like I just told them my kid cured cancer. They nod like bobbleheads. "Oh wow, that's amazing. Travel is the best education. Good for him." I smile tight and let them believe the lie inside I'm boiling, because it's not chic, it's not privileged. It's my son cutting us off like we're dead. I feel like a failure, and instead of admitting it, I wrap it in anger. Fine if he wants to play blue-collar hero. Let him see how brutal it is. Let him struggle. Let life punch him in the mouth until he comes crawling back. Year 3 of the silence, and my own career decides to start sliding. 2. Publishing is dying in real time. Everyone keeps calling it a pivot. It's a slow bleed. Digital eats another chunk every quarter. The company starts obsessing over engagement, funnels, algorithms. I'm 51, now my bio reads like a museum plaque. New hires show up, looking 25. They code, they talk about data. Like it's a second language, they toss around words like model and signal, and never once mention an actual reader. They look at me like I'm a rotary phone. My salary is high, my output is traditional, which is corporate speak for we can replace you. Little things start happening. I get left off email chains. I used to lead calendar invites, stop showing up. Strategy meetings happen without me. I find out after stress starts chewing through me. I can't sleep. I'm snappy all the time. My jaw is always tight. I come home and the house is falling apart. Not emotionally, literally. Deck boards soft and rotting like wet cardboard railing. Wobbles if you lean on it. Master bathroom faucet drips non-stop. Drip, 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 like it's keeping time for my sanity. Unraveling, Greg decides he's going to handle it because he's always trying to be helpful in the safest way possible. He gets under the vanity. With a wrench, 15 minutes later, I hear a noise like a small waterfall open the door, and the cabinet is flooded. Water everywhere, so we do what we always do. We hire someone. Plumber shows up the next day. Big guy, sunburnt neck, hands like sandpaper. Smells like copper and coffee. He says his rate like he's reading the weather. $200 an hour plus parts. I feel my eye twitch, but I nod, like that's normal. I hover over him the whole time, watching like a hall monitor. Please don't scratch the tile. He doesn't even look at me, just kneels down, pops a panel. Reaches in 20 minutes later, the drip is gone. He wipes his hands once. Hands me the bill, I write the check, and my hand is actually shaking. I hate him instantly for no rational reason. Because the whole time he's working, I'm thinking, does he know Ethan is my son out there fixing somebody else's kitchen while their mother talks to him like Furniture Year 5 hits? And that's when everything finally decides to pile on. At once, rumors start floating around: work, possible acquisition, new investors, strategic restructuring, the kind of phrases that mean someone's about to get erased. Our building is this historic downtown, high-rise pretty. On the outside, crumbling on the inside. Management ignored it for years. Elevators break constantly. One is always stuck on some random floor. AC has been spotty for so long, people joke about bringing desk fans like it's normal. Now money people are circling and I can feel it in my bones. If we get bought, I'm redundant, older, expensive, not fluent in the new buzzwords. So I do what I always do. When I'm scared, I try to make myself impossible to cut. I throw myself into a new campaign, work 65-hour weeks, live on vending machine pretzels. And those sad little protein bars, drink too much coffee, feel heavy, tired, old. And then the AC completely dies. Middle of July, 97 degrees outside, humidity. So thick it feels like walking through warm soup. Our floor turns into a greenhouse, windows don't open, sealed shut. Everyone's sweating through their clothes, people in suits with dark patches under their arms, makeup sliding off faces, tempers, short productivity tanks. CEO storms out of his office, red-faced, fix it. I don't care what it costs. Building management sends out a memo, catastrophic failure. Main cooling tower is done, needs a full retrofit. Weeks, not days. So, we're all just working inside a sauna. I'm on a Zoom call trying to pitch a client, trying to sound confident while sweat runs down my temple. The client keeps staring at my face. Finally, he goes, are you okay? You look kinda flushed, humiliating. Next morning, the contractors show up, and it looks like a war zone, moved in crane outside the building. Guys hauling equipment through the lobby, plastic sheeting taped over carpets, dust in the air, hallways full of shouting and boots, hammer drills. Start up like gunfire, saws, whining, metal, clanging. I'm trying to focus on a spreadsheet, trying to pretend I'm not sweating through my blouse, and a drill hits the concrete wall right behind my head. The whole partition vibrates. I jump so hard, I damn near launch out of my chair, slam my laptop shut, storm into the hallway, dust floating everywhere like powdered sugar. I spot a guy in a yellow vest carrying a bundle of conduit helmet on safety glasses, like he's immune to the concept of office etiquette. I snap at him. Excuse me, can you people keep it down? We are trying to run a business here. He stops like, I'm a stop sign, looks at me through the glasses. Zero emotion, structural retrofit, ma'am. We're drilling through concrete. It's going to be loud. I point down the hall like I own the place, then do it at night. He doesn't even flinch. Union schedule. We work 6 to 2:30, and then he just walks away. Like my opinion has the same value as a buzzing fly. I'm shaking with rage, hands actually trembling. I go to the break room to splash water on my face. Need something cold. Need to feel in control of literally anything. Walk in and the sink is taped off. Big sign. Out of order, mainline repair. I just stand there for a second and I almost cry. Not because of the sink, because it feels like the universe is mocking me. Then I notice boots sticking out from under the sink cabinet. Heavy work boots, broken in, nice ones, dark leather. Not the cheap stuff, the kind you buy once and actually take care of. There's a smell, ozone, hot metal, that sharp chemical tang of flux. Someone's deep in the cabinet welding. Something, I tap my heel against the floor, hard, impatient. Hello? How long is this sink going to be down? I need water, voice from inside, muffled calm, finishing the joint. Give me 2 minutes, and the second I hear it, something in my brain goes cold because that voice is familiar, deep, steady. The kind of calm that used to make me angry. My stomach drops. The person slides out from under the cabinet, sits up, pushes a welding mask up, pulls a respirator off, shakes his hair back. Like it's nothing and it's Ethan for a second. I swear the drills outside fade away. Everything goes quiet. He's huge, filled out in a way that doesn't look sloppy. Thick forearms, veins visible, beard, trimmed close, gray t-shirt soaked with sweat. But he doesn't look gross. He looks capable like. He could pick up the sink and carry it out. If he felt like it, muscles shift when he sets the torch down. He looks up at me, eyes cool, unbothered, and he says, flat as a line item, "Hello, mother, not mom, mother." I actually gasp. Hand goes to my chest like I'm in a soap opera. "Ethan, you work here?" I stare at his vest. No big company logo, just a name patch E. Madsen, and underneath it, Foreman. The word hits me harder than it should. I blurt it out anyway. "Foreman," he nods like it's obvious. "Yeah. Running the plumbing crew for the retrofit." My stomach twists. Is this shame, pride, nausea? I can't even tell. It's mostly confusion and a weird heat behind my eyes. "You're fixing the sink?" He doesn't smile, doesn't get defensive. Just explains it like I'm a coworker asking a dumb question. "I'm fixing the main riser. Sink's just access." He stands up and he towers over me. He used to slouch, used to fold in on himself around me. Now he stands like he belongs in the space, wipes his hands on a rag, looks me over. "How have you been?" Pause. "You look tired." The audacity of it makes my throat tighten. I'm working myself to death, Ethan, trying to save my department, and this noise is destroying everything. He nods once slow, like he's heard worse. Construction's messy. Progress usually is. And there it is, my chance to say something normal, something human, something like, "I missed you." Instead, my mouth pulls up the same old script like a reflex. "So this is it? You're a plumber. You crawl under sinks for a living." I want to sting him. I want to shrink him back down to size. I want to punish him for leaving, like I'm the one who got abandoned in the driveway. I want to make him feel small so I can feel tall again. He just looks at me like I'm noise mouth, twitches into this lazy half smirk. "Yeah, I crawl under sinks, and I fix what rich people break." He taps the pipe with his knuckle like it's a lecture prop. "Water doesn't run uphill, Claire. Physics doesn't care what your email signature says. If we don't do this retrofit, this place is basically a humid tomb. Then..." Like he's doing me a favor. "You're welcome." He checks his watch like I'm not even part of his day. "I gotta go check the crew on 12. Nice seeing you." He grabs his gear torch mask rag and just walks out. Doesn't ask about Greg, doesn't ask about home, doesn't ask anything. Dismisses me, like I'm a vendor complaining about the loading dock. I'm left standing by a taped-off sink, heart pounding, face hot, furious in that clean, polished way. Only I can do in my head. I'm still trying to win. He thinks he's clever. He's still just a guy with dirty hands. That's what I tell myself. I march back to my office, slam into my chair, open my browser and start digging. Search his name, search Apex, mechanical, search Ethan Madsen Foreman. There's almost nothing. Some generic LinkedIn profile, project lead at Apex Mechanical. No photo, no posts, no bragging, no inspirational quotes, just bullet points and dates like a ghost. Resume. Apex Mechanical sounds big. Probably isn't, probably just one of 1,000 contractors with a nice logo. I tell myself he's a replaceable part in a big machine. I tell myself he hit his ceiling. He's covered in sweat while I'm still in heels. Order restored. That story fits my brain, so I cling to it about 10 weeks later. Early October, retrofit's finished, AC purring like a luxury car, but the business? Dead on its feet, the buyout rumor becomes reality. Private equity comes in like a vulture in a suit. They acquire the building and our publishing company. Same week, double gut punch, hallways fill with whispering, "They're gonna gut the staff. They're turning this place into luxury lofts. Everyone's getting cut," our CEO calls. And all hands says, the new ownership group is assessing assets. Everyone suddenly dresses like it's a job interview. We're supposed to prove tenant viability. I put on my war outfit, tailored black suit, deep red blazer, pearls heels that click like a metronome. I'm ready to fight for my existence with apps. Posture alone. Conference room is glass walls and skyline views. The kind of room built to intimidate. CEO. Looks like he's been sweating for hours in. Walk the lawyers, briefcases, shark smiles, eyes that scan the room like price tags. Then the principal walks in, last Navy suit that probably costs more than my annual bonus custom fit. No tie-top button, open shoulders, stretching the fabric, like it's trying its best. Trimmed beard tablet in hand. He lifts his head, locks eyes with me, and the floor tilts. It's Ethan. I literally stumble, grab the back of a chair like I'm about to faint. CEO rushes forward, full corporate bowing energy. Mr. Madsen, welcome. We're honored you're touring the facility, Mr. Madsen. Ethan doesn't hurry, doesn't smile, big, just nods once and shakes the CEO's hand. Firm, dominant, doesn't even look down at the handshake like it's worth attention. Thanks, Mark. Let's not waste time. He gestures around the room like he owns the air. I know this building inside out. My crew spent 4 months inside these walls. Mark blinks, confused. Your crews? Ethan turns slightly, flicks his eyes to one of the attorneys, like it's a cue, then back to us. I own Apex Mechanical. We handled the retrofit. I like the bones on this place. So when I heard it was distressed, he taps his tablet. I bought the note. Silence, real silence, like someone hit mute on the entire room. My brain tries to process it in pieces. He didn't just fix the AC. He didn't just work here. He owns the company that did it, and he owns the building. Now Ethan's eyes find mine again, cool as ever. Hello again, Claire. Mark turns and looks at me, like I'm suddenly a liability. You know, mister. Madsen? I open my mouth. Nothing comes out. My tongue feels like sandpaper. Ethan answers for me, like it's obvious. She's a tenant. We've got history. He strolls to the window, taps the glass with one knuckle. Single pane, terrible insulation. We're bleeding energy through this like a sieve. Then he turns back to the room. This floor plan is obsolete. Too many cubicles, too many private offices stealing light. We're gutting the 14th. Open concept. Tech incubators. Mark goes pale. Gutting it? But our lease, my staff. Ethan scrolls on his tablet like he's checking the weather. Your lease is up in 32 days. We're not renewing. Mark's voice cracks. We've been here for decades. Ethan doesn't care. Publishing is volatile. I want stable tenants. Tech, biotech, renewables. That's where the money lives. Then he looks straight at me, holds it. You can't build the future on rotten foundations. Sometimes you tear it down and start over. Small pause. Right, mother? Mother. The word drops into the room like a brick. Everyone turns and stares at me. I can feel the shame like hot syrup under my skin. He didn't call me that out of love. He called me that to underline who's standing. Where he's the landlord, I'm the problem tenant. I swallow, barely able to speak. Ethan! It comes out as a whisper. You can't just throw us out. He doesn't blink. It's business, not personal. You taught me that. Then that cold, professional smile, the kind you use in boardrooms when you're killing something. Politely, emotional labor doesn't pay the mortgage. Rent does. He turns to his lawyer, like I'm not even there. Send the vacate notice. They've got until the 1st, and that's it. He walks out. No dramatic pause, no glance back. The suits follow like he's the tide and they're debris. I'm left standing in the wreckage of my career, owned publicly by the kid I spent years telling to keep his hands clean. 2 weeks later, I'm packing my office into cardboard boxes. Everything I thought mattered, reduced to tape. And Sharpie, I find an old photo buried in a drawer. Ethan at 8 before the vacuum. Massacre skinny arms. Big grin holding up some little plastic science kit I bought him. And he never used. I stare at it until my eyes blur and I cry. Not because I miss him, because I was wrong. And I hate being wrong more than I've ever loved being. Right, I carry my box down to the parking garage, walk past a group of construction guys on break, laughing, drinking coffee boots up on a curb. One of them is a kid, maybe 20, face smeared with drywall dust, hard hat tilted back. He sees me wiping my cheeks and gives a little nod. Have a good one, Mom. I look at him, and my chest tightens for a split second. I see Ethan in him. My mouth almost opens to say something stupid like, go to college, and then I stop. Because right behind them is a truck with a clean logo, Apex Mechanical, and a sign on the side like an ad. I never asked to see, starting $34 per hour, plus benefits plus pension. I stand there frozen, box cutting into my arms. Then I keep walking. I get into my leased BMW, the one I can't afford to renew anymore. The seats smell like expensive leather and denial. I drive home in silence. House is quiet. Too quiet. Greg's in the backyard. I step out and find him sitting in a lawn chair, staring at the rotting deck like it's a movie. I don't even ease into it. "I got fired." Greg nods. Doesn't look surprised. Doesn't ask how. Just nods, like he's been waiting for the other shoe for years. Then he says, casual. Like he's talking about the weather. "Ethan called me." My head snaps toward him. "He called you?" Greg finally looks over, eyes sad, tired, in a way I don't think I ever noticed before. "Yeah. He calls every Sunday. Has for a long time." My stomach drops so hard I feel nauseous. "You knew? You knew he was doing well?" Greg shakes his head slowly. "I knew he was happy. That's all I cared about. He told me not to tell you. Said you wouldn't respect it until you had to." I'm gripping the arm of the chair like it's about to float away. "He owns the building, Greg. He's loaded. He's running the whole thing." Greg shrugs, almost amused. "He's good with his hands. Best mechanic I've ever seen." Mechanic. The word makes my jaw tighten. Even now, I lower myself into the chair beside him. The deck creaks under our weight, ominous, like it's warning me. I look at my hands manicured soft, expensive rings. I look at the deck boards rotting unstable, the kind of problem I trained my kid to never touch. And Greg says it, quiet. "You didn't want him doing dirty work." "Yeah," I whisper, staring at the cracks. Greg nods toward the yard, toward the house, toward all of it. And somehow, he's the only one with clean hands now. He reaches into a cooler and hands me a beer. Cheap domestic cold can, sweating in my palm. I crack it open. It tastes bitter. Tastes like the world not caring what I wanted. I sit there as the sun drops behind the fence line, feeling the day cool down. Finally thinking about all those years I spent chasing the glass ceiling and realizing my son didn't bother climbing. He built the damn structure. Everyone else works inside.